Hey, Father Michael here. I'm remembering my freshman year of high school, and I was in a junior high situation, which actually is the best way to endure your ninth grade year because you are the elder statesman in the school. So you don't get all of that initiation and nonsense perpetrated on you because you are the one doing the deeds to the younger ones, the seventh graders. So I'm thinking of that ninth grade year, a ninth grade science class adventure in the spring of that year. And the assignment was to collect and dry and press and then identify and mount X number of wildflowers that were native to the area. Well, I gotta say, at the time, it was the most annoying science project of all time. And true to form, I waited as long as I could before I even began engaging in the project. But strangely enough, that project resulted in some lifelong habits that I still find kind of life affirming and nurturing, even now, decades later. That was the first time that I had to use my bicycle to travel significant distances in order to get beyond the city limits and wander in wooded or marshy areas looking for these damn wildflowers. We're talking like 10 to 20 mile bike trips. I still like doing that. I still like taking my bicycle out and just going somewhere with no firm destination in mind. I still love wandering in the woods and in nature, even though I am a city boy by nature. I even took my boys on adventures similar to this into the woods when they were younger, and I am still able to identify my marsh marigolds from my anemones and trillium and mayflowers and all of that business. So, who knew at the time that this would be a lifelong journey for me? And even now, in my twilight years, in that period of time known as nearer, my God, to thee, I am genuinely happy to notice those tiny little sprigs of color in the woods or in the parks where I happen to hike or bike. Well, anyway, on one particular outing into the wooded areas, I was wandering in the woods, and it was a lovely spring day, and I saw a rotted tree trunk, probably 5 feet high or so, and I decided, city boy alert here, I decided that it would be a great idea if I very quietly and gingerly approached this rotted out tree trunk and stuck my head in it. Well, I found myself face to face with an angry possum. Probably a mother tending her young, I don't know. But she literally barked at me and showed me her 288 teeth, razor sharp, to let me know that I needed to get the hell out of there. She was taking this pretty darn seriously, and I am pretty sure I screamed like a 6-year-old girl, and I ran in the opposite direction because I wasn't sure. How fast does a possum chase? Do they chase? lots of questions, lots of fear. And I resumed my mission. I needed those darn wildflowers to press in my book so I could mount them and get, a passing grade in this dang class. And so sure enough, I'm wandering around the wooded area, and here is another tall tree trunk that seems hollowed out. And so I thought, city boy alert number two, I'm going to stick my head in this one because what are the odds that there would be two angry possum mothers with 288 teeth ready to flash at me? So, as I approached the trunk, and this time I made a little bit more noise so that if there was something in there, they would have ample warning that there was a crazy white boy on the way. As I got closer to this tree trunk, I was attacked by an angry and yet beautiful duck. Oh my goodness, this duck was insistent. I was not going to put my head inside that tree trunk. It turns out that this was a male wood duck, and he was just doing what wood ducks do. He was guarding his significant other's nesting site because rotting tree trunks happen to be great places for wood ducks to do their thing and to nest. And to be fair, these ducks have a lot of enemies in the natural world, a lot of predators. So, we're talking like hawks and coyotes, foxes, alligators, crocodiles, not so much in Wisconsin, but other places, and even big fish, like muskie or pike, will eat these little baby ducklings. So naturally, young wood duck families are basically living on red alert most days, but especially when laying their eggs and tending to their babies. Well, here is what I learned about these wood ducks and their young. Within a day or two at the most, after these little ducklings are hatched, they are climbing out of their nests, following their mother's call from down below. They literally jump out of the safety and the security and the comfort of their little nest, and they make their way to their mom, who's waiting to take them to the water so she can teach them how to swim. They can't even fly at this point. But it is in their nature to simply trust the voice they know and jump. As a priest who is in recovery, and as someone who has had a lot of challenges and certainly disappointments in ministry and in life in general, I have to wonder sometimes how much I am really trusting the voice of God, the voice that I think I know, the voice that called me to his service in the first place. 14 years ago, when I started this journey of ministry, active ministry and ordained ministry, I was willing to leave absolutely everything I knew behind. I was willing to leave the safety and the familiarity and the money, working as a music director for the diocese and as one of two paid cantors in the whole state. I was willing to put all of that aside and simply follow my shepherd's call to step out into the unknown. But that was 14 years ago. And so what about now? Is that still what's going on with me? Or have I maybe gotten a little too familiar and comfortable with the way things are? In other words, am I still listening? Am I still willing to jump into a future of uncertainty if the voice should call me to go there? In John chapter 10, verse 27, Jesus says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me." Where am I with that? Those baby wood ducklings have an innate sense of obedience. It's natural and it's instinctive for them to simply obey. They're not held back by their fears. They're not lost in their thoughts, wondering, what if this? What if that? They're not held back by their second thoughts. They don't have any questions or reluctance even. They simply trust. That, to me, is a really powerful lesson, a strong reminder to me that sometimes I just need to duck up and follow. Pray with me. Loving God, you who are always calling us with your voice, deep within our hearts, to be our better selves. You tell us in the words of your Christ that everything is going to be fine, that we can literally abandon our security and comfort and safety and make our way to you, the one who is always waiting to take us to the next level of living our best life. Help us in this moment, first of all, to be grateful for all the times when we have jumped down from our own perches in faith, only to learn that you were by our side all along. And secondly, if we are sensing your voice within us today, help us to trust more and fear less. We ask all this in the name of our shepherd, Jesus the Christ, the one who is, who was, and who is to come, our brother and teacher forever. Amen. Have a great day.